Hold up.
Hey SMU crew, I hope you guys are having an awesome night. I am super stoked. We've got the kids finally in bed. We just got back from dinner and soccer, and everyone seems to be getting kind of sick again, but not me this time, thankfully. So as you hop on in, say hello so I know who's watching. If you're watching the replay, hashtag it with replay so I know that you're catching the replay on it. I am super excited tonight because I am going to show you guys how to go live on Facebook and how to feel really good about it. This is for you even if you have never gone live on Facebook, even if you hate video, even if you feel super uncomfortable and the thought of going live makes you feel really sick to your stomach. I'm going to share with you guys kind of a no-fail technique that's really helpful. It's a very, very easy way to go live so that you guys feel totally confident. But as you hop on to this live, make sure that you say hi so I know who's watching with me. And there's an added bonus. When you comment on this, more people see it in their feed, so we have this awesome energy of everyone jumping on in and seeing this live. So I'm super excited about this. Who do we have watching so far? I'm going to make sure I can see the comments because sometimes it's a little funky and doesn't show me all the comments. But I'm actually going to show you guys my process, what I do to go live, and I'm actually going to record a live here with you guys on this live, which is super fun. Hey Tara, hey Allison, good to see you guys. Looks like who else is here? Quinton's here. Hello, Quinton. I don't think I've seen your name very much yet in SMU, so excited to have you. Okay, let me just make sure you guys can see it. Perfect. Looks like it's working. Excellent. So we're going to dive on in. So the purpose of this is ultimately that I want you guys to feel comfortable with going live. Now, as a social media manager, thankfully, it isn't something that you necessarily have to do quite a bit, but your clients might be asking you for feedback about how they can go live. Maybe you work with a client and they're like, can you help us with going live for this event? We need some support. Can you give me advice or tips or tricks? This is going to make you guys feel totally confident. Megda, where did that cool font come from? I have never seen that before. Hey, Paige, good to see you. So we're going to dive on in because one of the things that is going to happen with your guys' businesses is at some point you're going to hit that moment where you say, I want to get visible. I want people to start knowing me. I want leads to come into me. I don't want to have to work for every lead or work for every prospect. And those inbound leads are awesome, but a part of that process is getting visible. And what better way to get visible than Facebook Live? So, all right, you guys ready? Let's dive on in. Who's excited about this? I am stoked. I know it's like a weird time for me to go live. It's like in between for all the different parts of the world. I know the UK is sleeping, the US is starting to sleep. It's kind of weird. Okay, so I have broken down Facebook Lives into 5 distinct phases, and this is going to make it super, super easy for you guys. Are you ready? So first and foremost, we have the intro. And the intro is where you either introduce yourself, maybe you're going to give a little bit of your background, you're going to basically be introducing who you are so that when someone is new to you, because you can't assume that everyone who sees your Facebook Lives is going to know you. You want them to know exactly who you are and why they should watch. So there are different ways to do this. You can use a title, you can use something. You guys will see exactly what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to go not only with introducing myself, it's hard to do it backwards, introducing myself, but I'm also going to go into my background a little bit when we do my live on this live. Oh my gosh. Okay, now when you are going live, if you are still nervous, don't be scared to make little notes for yourself on Post-its. Hey Beth, good to see you. So what you can do is you can actually put Post-its that give you a couple of keywords and notes. So you're not reading, but you're prompting from the script. Now, I'm in a place in my business where I feel very comfortable going live. I don't actually need to follow a script. I can usually just kind of wing it. But I'm going to be doing something a little bit different tonight on my live that I'm doing live on this live. I love saying that, triple live. And then what we're going to do, so you guys will get to see me do it. So I'm doing a little bit different format. So I want you to just know that I'm going to probably use these just a little bit. But I'm going to stick them onto my computer so that I can see them. So we've got the intro, right? Are you guys ready for number 2? Comment yes below if you're excited. Number 2, after you have introduced yourself, you are going to introduce the topic that you'll be discussing. So whatever it is that you're going to be talking about on that live, it's time to talk a little bit about it. Now I'm going to put one thing right here, and I'm going to put a keyword, and that is comment. So after you introduce yourself and give a little bit of background, either before or after you introduce the topic that you're going to be talking about, you're going to ask people to comment for the reason that I just shared on this live. What you want to do is ultimately get people to like, comment, share, engage. And the best way to do that is to ask for it. If you don't ask for engagement, it just doesn't happen. Just like if I hadn't asked you guys to say, hey, in the comments, you probably, well, at least you guys would, because you know that that's what I love. So, okay, ready for number 3? So number 3, I've got my notes right there, and I'll show you them in just a second, but we've got 1, 2, and 3. So this is gonna be the 3. You can have anywhere from 3 to 5 key points within your topic that you want to teach on this live, or value that you want to deliver. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Does this kind of seem like the, what is it, the MLA style writing in high school, where you learn how to do the intro, the 3 points, and then the concluding paragraph, right? It's not that different. It's a really great formation for a reason, because it makes it easy to follow. Formation, foundation. Nope, that's not the right word. That's okay. Format, there we go. So my 3, I'm going to be talking about SMU, because the doors just opened back up to SMU. So I figured this would be a good opportunity for you guys to see what my live is going to look like. It's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. Okay, so we've got number 1, how one client could mean $500 to $1,000 a month. So this is huge, how one client could absolutely change your entire structure of your household, right? We've got number 2, how you can do this without a degree, without experience, and without a degree and without experience. And then number 3, I'm going to be talking about how this is a revolutionary lifestyle that works, whether you have kids, whether you want to travel, whether you are working in a 9 to 5 and want it as a side gig, or you want to do this full time. All of those options are possible and available. And if you're watching and you're like, heck yes, I'll share with you guys the mindset I'm going to get in before we dive on into these 3 things. So I've got them up on my computer. There's no shame in the cheat sheet game. We've got number 4. The conclusion. This is where I'm going to talk about how these tie in, maybe recap the 3 points, talk about why this is important, or what conclusion I want them to come to when they watch my live. And they sound so weird, doesn't it? And then this is super important, your CTA. CTA stands for call to, I'm doing it backwards, call to action. Call to action is essential. So you want to ultimately give them something to do at this point. Do you want them to click the link in the copy? Do you want them to comment with a specific keyword? Do you want them to go to a specific URL? All of those are totally acceptable. You could say, like my page if you want to see my next videos, so that way you don't miss a single thing. You have to ask people to take action. People don't know to take action if you don't tell them, hey, I need you to go to this link, just follow the steps, make it through the $1 trial, et cetera, et cetera. That's not something that most people do naturally without being guided towards it. So we've got our call to action. Now, here are a couple things to keep in mind when you're getting ready for a live. So number 1, you want to be calm, cool, relaxed. So this isn't really what I recommend. I just felt like doing that. So what I really recommend, though, is getting into the right mindset. So if you're someone who's super hyper and that you need a lot of energy, drink some coffee, and that's your go-to. If you're someone who likes to stay mellow and that's kind of your overall vibe, be okay with being mellow. You don't have to be anyone different than who you are. Like, for example, my voice is a little softer. Like, I can talk loud, but it seems soft-spoken, even though you guys know that's not really how I am. But when I talk, it sounds like kind of chill. I make mistakes a lot in what I say. That's okay. When you go live, it does not have to be perfect. So promise me, if you're watching this, comment below if you promise that you recognize perfection does not equal perfection when it comes to Facebook Lives. Facebook Lives are about authenticity. So if you agree with that, comment yes on this live. So I know you're like, heck yes, okay, I can do this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be scripted. Isn't that kind of a relief? Like, it's the best thing in the world. So let me know if you are in agreement that you love seeing people when they're being authentic and just themselves and not scripted. Another thing, this is huge. This is a big part of it. You will get comments during your Facebook Live. If you are dealing with a community that is full of response, for example, when I come into SMU, I like to have a dialogue with you guys on Facebook Live. So I'm watching the comments and I'm like, okay, I love seeing the comments. I know they're going to be great. I know they're going to be supportive. They're going to be awesome. I'm going to be able to feed off of that energy. But when it comes to your lives on your Facebook page or lives somewhere else, lives where you don't know your audience, maybe you have a big audience and you're kind of nervous about doing that, or you're going to a new audience, or you have no audience yet. The best thing I can recommend is to just go on as if there was a massive, supportive, awesome, positive audience watching, and they're all believing in you. Don't even look at the comments. In fact, one of the things that you could do is you could put Post-its all over the chat so that you don't see them. And then it keeps you from getting distracted. I will tell you that when I do lives outside of the community, I try to actually not look at the chat because it's really distracting, especially when people ask random questions that take you off track. I don't mind doing that with you guys because I know that everything has to do with a specific topic, so we keep it on track. Don't worry about good or bad comments. Just go on as if you had an audience of 1,000 people who love you. Can you promise me that? Okay, we're gonna dive on in. So I'm a little bit excited and nervous about this one. I always get a little bit nervous when I try something new, but I'm like, at the same time, if I don't try it, I don't know what's gonna work. So I'm going to just fill out the description. So you have a description when you go live. Let's see if I can get it to pick it up. It's a little bright, or a lot of bit bright. We kind of saw it for a second. But basically, when you're going to go live, you have an area for copy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a preliminary copy here, even though I know for a fact I'm going to change it as soon as I finish up the live. So I'm going to be going live on my Facebook page, which can bring some real creepers. I've got some icky people who like to comment on my stuff, so I'm not going to pay attention to the comments very much or just kind of ignore them and go through it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the doors to Social Media United are now open, but I know I'm going to change that. So the doors to Social Media United are now open. Grab your spot for just $1. And then I'm going to change it up to make it like way more clickbaity, but I want to have some time to sit here and play with it until it's perfect. And if you want to change the copy in a post or on a Facebook Live before you run ads to it, change it before you run ads to it. I know that sounds funny. If you want to change it and you're like, oh, but I already boosted it, you're going to have to delete that boost, delete all the ads from the ad manager in order to change up the copy. So that's good to know. You can change the copy on Facebook Lives even if you already have run Facebook ads, or even if you haven't. You just have to actually delete all of the ads that run traffic to something. So I am going to run a lot of traffic to this once I change up the copy, and it feels good. Okay, are you guys ready? Who's ready? Can I get some energy? Okay, now this is another thing that is actually kind of important. I know this sounds kind of silly, but when you are live streaming, a couple of things. A perfect video does not convert as well as a real-time, like behind the scenes type of video like this, a handheld video. You don't have to have it perfect. You don't have to have it perfectly stabilized or HD or anything. But this video here is going to convert better than this video here. This video here seems staged, whereas this feels like it's like behind the scenes. I'm inviting you into my office, right? So that's really important to remember. The other thing as well, if you do want to use like a handheld stabilizer, I know someone was asking me about that earlier. I have a SMOV. My team sent it to me. It was like the best. I think it was for Christmas. One of the best and kindest gifts I've ever gotten, the SMOV. I need to use it more, and now that my hair and makeup are starting to be done and I'm starting to look presentable as a human again after having Dominic, I'm going to start to do a lot more lives. So the SMOV is one that I highly recommend. It's great. People ask me sometimes about, like, for example, my cameras. This camera is new. It is the Logitech HD 1080p, and I really like it because I'm actually in a dark office right now. My office is almost completely pitch black, and that lighting looks awesome, doesn't it? Like, this looks beautiful. I love how it looks. I love how it looks during the day and at night. I also have umbrella lights on the other side of my office. I actually can probably just take this off and show you guys. So we've got, over here we have the umbrella lights and the ring light. And you can see there are some notes there from when we recorded all of my YouTube videos. So I have a ring light. I think I have just the Diva, I want to say. It was one that was like $150. And then the umbrella lights for when I'm recording videos. So, okay, ready? Let's dive on in. It's already saying trying to reconnect. Hey guys! Okay, I just wanted to stop in real fast and say hey. So I am Rachel Pedersen. I am a social media manager, and it's actually kind of late at night here, but I wanted to just hop on over to my page and stop by and let you guys know a little bit about something that I have to share it with you. So basically, one of the things that is really crazy is I am a mom of 3 kids, just had my 3rd child, and I work full-time as a social media manager. In fact, I used to work in a 9 to 5, and it was something where I liked my 9 to 5, but I really didn't like the fact that every single day it felt like there was a boss breathing down my neck. And I finally had the last straw when one day I went into my office and I actually got written up for my daughter being sick and me missing work to stay home with her. And in that moment, I was just like, I feel so stuck. Like, this is not okay. This is not the life that I want. This is not what my future is going to be. I feel like I'm supposed to do something different. I'm supposed to be the boss. I'm supposed to find something that gives me freedom. And more than anything, I wanted to be free. Like, that was what I wanted. If that sounds familiar, if you're watching this, you're like, yep, I've experienced that before. Say like, yes, that's totally me. That's where I'm at, or I've experienced that. So it was this crazy like tango between wanting to be great at a 9 to 5, but also feeling kind of like bitter and frustrated. And not to mention, like, I had put my dreams on hold. So I'm sitting there. I was a marketing manager for a tech company. But at the same time, I wasn't going towards those big dreams and those big goals that I had for my life. You know, I always thought that I was going to be in charge of my life. I was going to be able to like travel the world. Does anyone have dreams like that? Like, I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to buy a house. I wanted to pay off all my debt. Hello, student loans. And so I had this idea that maybe I could become a social media manager. And I didn't even know what that looked like. I just knew that sometimes people asked me for support on their social media. So I actually used the power of LinkedIn and started connecting with people. And before you know it, people started reaching out to me, and I started reaching out to people talking about marketing. And as these conversations continued, it was really amazing to me because people were actually willing to pay me to help them with their social media. So I secured one client, and then I secured another client, and all of a sudden I secured a 3rd client. And I remember going home and being like, I'm securing clients on the side and talking to my husband about it and being like, what happens like if we go all the way with this? And we decided we're not going to wait. We're going to go all the way. Let's do this. And so I went all in, and I was still working in my 9 to 5, but I started to just like seriously, aggressively pursue securing clients. And before you know it, I had as many clients. I had so much revenue coming in from my clients that it matched my 9 to 5 salary. And I realized, it's time. Like, it is time to take the leap and jump into doing this full time. Like, this, everything that I wanted from my 9 to 5 is just revenue and security. And I can do that myself. So I left my 9 to 5 in April of 2016. Yeah, April of 2016, making sure I get those dates right. So not just about 2 years ago. And just 6 months later, I retired my husband from his 9 to 5, meaning he could come home. And this was huge for me because I was in a place where every single day, you know, I was working, I was doing something I love. I was working with clients, doing their social media, coming up with awesome and fun campaigns. But there was that sick feeling every morning as my husband went to work. And I was like, I miss him. I miss him. I hate seeing him leave for 12 hours a day. I hate knowing that he's going to come home and he's going to be exhausted and burnt out. And I just wasn't okay with that. So I decided I was going to retire him, and we did it within 6 months of me leaving my 9 to 5. About a month or two later, we hit our first $10,000 month with just clients in social media. It absolutely blew my mind. And then over time, things have continued to grow and develop. And today, I'm considered one of the top social media consultants in the world. But the craziest part about all of this, you guys, is like, I'm just a mom from Minnesota. I am not anybody special. I'm just normal. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a big goofball. I don't have a degree in marketing. I had very little experience. I had never been a social media manager before, but we made it happen. So one of the things that I want to share with you is how you can become the boss of your own life by becoming a highly paid social media manager. So you guys ready for it? If you are watching, what I want you to do is comment. If you are a social media manager, comment with the number 1 below. If you are someone who's working in your 9-to-5 and you want to find freedom, you want to become the boss of your own life, comment with the number 2. And if you are someone who already owns a digital marketing agency and you want to scale your business, comment with the number 3, just so I know where everyone is at. So exciting. So I'm so excited about this because one of the things that was really crazy to me is realizing that one client could change everything. One client could mean $500 a month. One client could mean $1,000 a month. And actually today I charge anywhere from $2,500 to $4,500 a month per client. So that means that one client is worth $2,500 to $4,500 a month. But one client can literally transform your entire life and your business. Number 2, what was crazy for me was realizing this is insane and no one is talking about it, that I could become a fully booked social media manager without a degree, without any real experience, and even if I was just brand new and I didn't feel like an expert, without being an expert, like people say. So that was absolutely an insane revelation for me. And then number 3, the craziest part about this is that you can actually build your own business as a social media manager, even if you have kids and you're a stay-at-home mom. Even if you are working in a 9-to-5 and you want to set it up as a side gig, even if you are working in a job that you love and you want it to stay a side gig. So you can say, I want this to replace my full-time job. You can make this happen. Or you could say, I just want to do this part-time and maybe make some extra money for groceries. That blew my mind. You're able to do it as a stay-at-home mom, as a work-at-home mom, work-at-home dad, stay-at-home dad, someone working in their 9-to-5 looking to leave, or someone looking to just generate a little bit of extra income on the side. So it's really powerful. One of the things that I first and foremost realized, though, is that there weren't a ton of people in the marketplace that were teaching how to become social media managers without charging you like $2,000 up front for a course. And so I was like, how do I figure this out? And I decided that I was going to kind of figure it out by trial and error. But one of the very first things that I did was recognize that I wasn't going to fight with everyone else who was charging hourly rates. A lot of people, get nickeled and dimed on the side. So you're taking on side projects and you're like, oh yeah, I did a little bit of social media for someone once and I made a couple $100 extra that month, maybe $100 or $200. That's not okay. The crazy part is I realized that even if you don't have a degree, even if you don't have a ton of experience, even if you are a stay-at-home mom or whatever it is, you can do this and charge $500 to $1,000 per month per client. That adds up so fast. If you're watching and you're like, heck yes, that's something I want, comment below and say yes. So I know that that's something that you are like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. The next thing that I realized was that you can do this without a degree. That changed the way I looked at becoming a social media manager. Anyone say like, yeah, that's really encouraging. Like, I love the fact that I could possibly do this without having to go back to school and restart and spend thousands of dollars on a degree. Anyone like absolutely love that? If you're watching and you're like, yes, I love that that works. I don't have to go back to school. Comment below and say no degree. So I didn't have a degree in marketing. In fact, I didn't have a degree in anything. I actually used to be a hairstylist. And so I only had a hairstylist certification. But I realized, this is something that I can learn and learn it quickly, learn it with efficient resources, figure out how to learn all about what I need to do for my clients. And my first experience with this was when I was actually hired by one of my hair clients. And she said, could you help me out with some of my social media? I didn't know really much about social media. I just knew how to post on social media and get a response. And so I went to her house and I helped her. And honestly, that day was where it clicked in my mind and I realized, oh my gosh, I don't think I have to have a degree to go into marketing. I think that I need to just know more than the people that I'm supporting and guide them to that next step. So being an expert in social media just means leading people from where they are to where they want to be. And it's as simple as mastering a couple of skills that is going to support their business. The third revelation that I had that was absolutely mind-blowing was that I could set up this entire lifestyle and career around the way I wanted my life to look. So that means even if I have my kids, even if we're home and we're sick, even if my husband isn't working, even if we go on vacation, or even if we want to take a whole bunch of workcations, no one can tell you no when you're the boss. You get to travel where you want. And in fact, since becoming a social media manager, I have never traveled more, but I'm not just talking like trips to, Tahiti and Fiji all the time. It's been really cool trips that have been on my bucket list, trips that we can bring the family and friends to. We took my whole family to Disney World. We went to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, India. I did some human relief in India as well as in Puerto Rico, which was phenomenal. Especially after the Hurricane Maria. But the ability to just pick up and travel and go and not have a boss tell me no, I realized that this works around any lifestyle. So even if you have kids, even if you stay at home, even if you work at home, even if you're in a 9-to-5, you can build up a business as a social media manager, which is just so exciting. If you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool, comment 9-to-5 below, because it is seriously one of the most rewarding things that I have experienced. So now, one of the things that I actually did is I put together everything that I learned along this journey. I will tell you, I learned everything that you can learn about being a social media manager the hard way. Meaning I didn't know what a proposal looked like. I didn't know where to find clients or how to secure clients or how to even handle a sales call. I was scared out of my mind, and I was sitting there Googling everything as fast as I could to try to figure it out. I wasn't certain how to build a Twitter following or even how to invoice my clients, but I sat and I figured everything out. I spent hours and hours and hours researching on the initial front end of building my business, but then refining those processes over the last 2 years to put together the absolute best system that I possibly could. And so what I actually did is I put together everything that you could possibly need to know about becoming a social media manager. In fact, I have over 90 modules that train you on everything from how to grow a Twitter following to securing clients, where to find clients, how to handle invoicing and payments with your clients, how to build out proposals. I have templates for proposals, how to pitch clients potentially. Every single thing that you could possibly need, I've put it all together. I've already solved all of those problems that you potentially could encounter, or those sticking points where you're like, okay, great, I could become a social media manager. Where do I start now? Awesome, I've got you totally covered. So I actually have everything put together in Social Media United, which is the leading online university for social media managers. So we have over 90 video modules, plus dozens of templates to get you started on absolutely everything that you could possibly need. I'm talking everything. We've got creative packs, we've got swipe files, we've got templates, we've got worksheets, proposals, every single thing that you could possibly need to get started. Not only that, but we also have a dedicated community of nearly 1,000 students. It is amazing. They're on fire. They're the most supportive community in the whole world. No question is too small or too stupid as you might feel. You might feel like you can't ask a question. In Social Media United, it is totally safe to ask those questions. But not only that, I also have challenges in Social Media United that are going to help you to secure your first or your next client, so you can get started on building that life that you love around the exact lifestyle that you've always wanted, whether that's working, like I said, from home, working part-time while you're in a 9-to-5, maybe just making an extra $500 a month to ease up on the mortgage, maybe making $1,000 a month so that you can start to save for your vacation or pay off some of your debt. Whatever it is that you need, every single resource that you need to get started as a social media manager is available within Social Media United. Now, I know you might be watching this thinking like, oh, that's probably thousands of dollars to get started, because it's everything you need to start a career that is ultimately going to transform the trajectory of your life. But the reality is, even though all of these resources are worth thousands of dollars, I put them all together inside of Social Media United for just $49 a month. That's it. And it's full access to everything. But in fact, I'm going to sweeten that just a little bit for you right now. If you go to the link in the copy above this, it is www.smutrial.com. that is going to give you the opportunity to experience Social Media United for just $1 for 7 days. That means you can hop on in and get full access to the trainings, the community, the worksheets, the templates, the resources, everything that you need to get started for just $1. Now, how could $1 potentially change your life? You're probably like, I honestly have no idea. Like, could $1 change my life? Could this training in Social Media United change my life? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to tell you, it's $1. That could buy you a candy bar. That could buy you maybe a pen or a couple pens. That could buy you a notebook at Target. That could buy you something in the dollar spot at Target. If you're a Target shopper, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There aren't a ton of things that $1 could buy you, but $1 to get started could be the start of a career that absolutely transforms your life. I'm actually going to share with you a story of one of my students who just started a couple of weeks ago. Her name is Lindsay, and she got started as a social media manager on the $1 trial of Social Media United. And within just that first week, blows my mind. Lindsay actually secured enough revenue because she hit it so hard. She was so excited. She was so passionate. She secured enough revenue to leave her 9-to-5, and she put in notice and got started as a social media manager. Another great example of this is one of my favorite students. Don't tell the rest I said that. His name is David. And David was working full-time in his 9-to-5. And what he did is he secured, first and foremost, a client. And then he started to secure more clients. And one day he finally just asked me, should I leave my 9-to-5? And I said, I think it's time. So David left his 9-to-5 and ended up getting to $10,000 months within just a few short months. David absolutely killed it. Another great example of this is one of my students, Emma. She is wonderful. Emma is a single mom who has an amazing, amazing story. She actually dove in pretty hard, and I think it was in September or October of 2017, and started to absolutely she started to just dive on in and dive into the trainings. And before you know it, Emma actually secured $10,000 months and was able to finally get an amazing place for her family, which is just amazing. Another great story that this one just absolutely touches my heart is Ashley. Ashley is a wonderful, wonderful student of mine, and she is from Malaysia. And what most people don't know about Malaysia is that the average income in Malaysia, at least this is what I've been told, is around $400 US. And Ashley hit it hard, implemented everything. She was super excited. She was, couldn't wait to wake up in the morning. Sometimes she'd wake up really early or stay up late, just hitting everything that she was learning hard in Social Media United. And she actually quickly grew to over $2,500 per month. So fast. She's a single mom. She was able to leave her 9-to-5, and that's in Malaysia, which there isn't as many job opportunities as we have in the United States or in the United Kingdom or Canada. And so she was able to rewrite her entire life. So what I want you to do is, if you are interested in just checking this out, and let me tell you, you don't have really much to lose except for $1. And you're going to actually dive in and see that there is so much value inside of Social Media United waiting for you. But you don't have to believe me. You can actually just check out some of the testimonials or hop on in and see the community, see the wins, see what people are going through and where they're growing to. It's so exciting when I watch those wins come in every single week, and just am blown away with the number of results that I see my students getting. So you can actually access that at www.smutrial.com, or the link in the copy above. So I want to see you inside of Social Media United. If you're going to join, comment so I know who is coming on in, and I can't wait to greet you inside. But again, to catch me on this $1 trial before it closes, because it will go away. As long as this video is available with the link in the bio that works, the link in the copy that works, you are good to hop on into the $1 trial. But once it closes, and it closes in the next couple of days here, you won't be able to get back in until the doors open. So it's going to be closed for a while. So make sure you hop on in, take advantage of the $1 trial while it's here. And I can't wait to see who is excited to start rewriting the rest of their lives. So I'll see you guys later. Have such a good night. Bye. Whew, that was fun, super fun. What did you guys think? Kind of crazy, right? Let's see if that posted. You know how once in a while videos don't post? That always makes me so nervous. I'm like, please tell me you posted We'll see, right? I actually got distracted in it because I looked at one comment that I saw, and it was the comment from my dad, which is Thomas Bell, and it totally distracted me, and I was like, ah! But the good news is we got it up. We got 23 comments, 1 share, 193 views, lots of perverted comments. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the copy in it to make it really ideal, make people excited. And then I'm going to run traffic to it. So I'm going to set up video view ads and pay per engagement ads and go ahead and run that traffic to that live and see what the return is, what the cost per acquisition is. But most of the time, you're not going to be setting up ads with your Facebook Lives. What you're going to be doing is just going live and letting that organic reach kind of kick in. I know I'll get a lot more views over the next, day or two or whatever it is, but I'm going to go and fix that up a little bit, but kind of fun. So if you're new to this training, if you didn't watch this, what I recommend is starting from the very beginning. Just so you guys know, that is not one of my usual lives. So that was one that was uncomfortable to me, a little bit different, just trying to test out something new and seeing if it works. But we'll review one more time. So we've got, when you go Facebook Live, an intro, give your background or share who you are. You're going to talk about your topic and ask people to comment, like, and share. I did at least comments. You're going to hit on 3 key topics. You are going to conclude. So just so you know, that was me about as uncomfortable as I get on a live. And Samantha, if I can do it live, you can do it when you rehearse a little bit. You'll feel so good. That was the very first time I did it. So uncomfortable. It's okay, because that message will only get more and more clear as I continue to share it. And your CTA, which is your call to action. Love you, SMU crew. I hope you have an awesome night. So fun to hop on in here to let you guys see the work in progress of the Facebook Live, which is the new message. I do a lot of lives, but this one has been a really cool format to follow. I think it'll help you to feel good about doing your very own lives, and I can't wait to hear how you guys have loved this training. I'll see you later. Have a good one.